I'm John Norman, and for the next 7 to 8 hours we are going to be commentating on one of the greatest rearguard actions in the history of Test cricket, a format that stretches all the way back to the 19th century. Dear listener, you have not heard anything like what you're about to hear over the course of the next 6 and 7 hours. It's the penultimate day of this Test series. We will be back tomorrow, and we will at some stage late on day 5 be commentating on the greatest comeback victory the game has ever seen. Yes, it does look a little bleak, 18 for 2 overnight, still 640 runs away from victory, but with Bethell and Root at the crease and with the likes of Brook, Pope, maybe Stokes to come, surely the scene is set. If in October I'd said to you, what is more likely to happen? New Zealand go to India and win 3-0, or England chase down 650 to win a Test match, which one would you have said is the more likely to happen?
England chase 600.
So you say there's a chance. First ball of the morning, and it's cut away, not quite to the boundary. A chase on by Mitchell Santner through the covers, but England have knocked 2 runs off that target. 640 to win has become 638.
Henry in again, bowls. Bethell drives, thick inside edge, down to fine leg for 4. Matt Henry has good reason to suck air between clenched teeth and run his fingers through his hair, because that's frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, there's no fielders there. I mean, even leg slip, that would have beaten leg slip on the inside. A little bit of luck for Jacob Bethell. There's an element of luck on New Zealand's way in this Test match. I think England have had the luck. The little rubs of the green go their way throughout this series so far, apart from the first 3 innings of this Test match in England. They've had a little bit this morning. That's a good inside edge from Jacob Bethell.
O'Rourke again, as this is dug in. Root takes on the pull. That's not that far from Blundell behind the stumps. Possibly a bit of glove helped away to the boundary. Fine. The wicket, and England's target reduced by 4. 609 to win now. Over the wicket, and Bethell just steps down the track and with a beautiful swing of the bat just clears his front leg and hits this pretty much where it came, over Henry's right shoulder and away to the boundary for a beautiful 4. 53 for 2, 50 up for England. 605 runs needed to win. Around the wicket is Tim Southey, and this is pulled up and over mid on by Jacob Bethell, starting to show us some of his one-day shots here. 4 more. Score moves along, 58 for 2.
I know I sound like an old man sometimes and talk about the good old days. And
to be honest, when you're with
our
producers Scott and Katie, you sound like an old man all the time.
All the time. But so how good the cricket used to be. I far more watch Brendan McCullum's team every day of the week.
Pitched up, driven to the left of mid-wicket, and Kane Williamson gives up the chase. 4 more. That's the shot of the day from young Jacob Bethell. Moves to 33, 62 for 2. If England bat out 143 overs, Harmy,
they've got a chance.
Stokes may well come out to bat. Oh, surprising bounce from Root. He's outside edged it to second slip, and the chance has gone down.
Very unlucky for Tim Southey there. Hard length delivery just outside off stump. Joe Root pushes at it with hard hands, and I think it's Tom Latham at second slip. Might have just got onto him a little bit quicker than he was expecting and hit his hands, and he's put it down. A relatively regulation catch too. That's a big chance gone down. I feel like these centre hits are itchy. Well, they're good for when your Christmas is during winter, but we live in a summer Christmas time here, and it's almost like wearing a beanie, a woolen hat. Is this what you lower yourself to do too on talkSPORT too? Although Harmy's hat that's next level. It's like a Christmas tree. It's staring at me from the back of the boat. It's like a grumpy Christmas tree. A surly one. Here's Southey, short, pulled away beautifully. Oh, word, listen to that clatter as it hits the advertising boards. That was smoked. Again, Bethell just leaning back on that one, and he's been very selective with the ones he has tried to be aggressive on. He's defended the good balls that he's found too good for him, and as soon as there's been any width or any length, he's pounced on it.
It might just open up because it is bright sunshine. Here's an inside edge and a cut stroke attempt from Root. Second time today, England got a fraction lucky. First it was Bethell off Henry, and now O'Rourke sees a ball speed past the stumps and down to the onside for 4 behind the wicket. Root to 33. It's 97 for the loss of 2. The partnership is 79, and for the record, 561 more runs to win.
There we go. There's that line from Will O'Rourke. Sort of the corridor where a little bit of inconsistency is happening. Joe Root, there was width on offer, but something on the pitch. Must have hit something on the pitch because he got an under edge. The ball didn't bounce as much as what the one previously did, where he went on the back foot and pulled him away. So this is going to be a good test. Joe Root's going to have to be very selective with how he plays this.
Gary's going to send us an information on England batsmen who have done that. And there is 50 for Jacob Bethell, tucked away past Will Young at backward short leg. And Jacob Bethell reaches a 3rd consecutive half century, coming from 63 balls, 8 fours and a pulled 6 off Matt Henry over square leg.
Yeah, very well played, Jacob Bethell. 3rd 50 in this series, and all in the second innings. All 3 have come in the second innings. He's batted very nicely.
Here's Santner again, bowls to Root, who cover drives beautifully down on one knee, and it's racing away to the boundary for 4. Had to reach for that. It's a super shot from Joe Root, but it was full, not really a half volley. It was the width that tempted Joe Root, and he had to reach for it, didn't he? A stretching cover drive.
Yeah, it was more of a slash drive, wasn't it? He has had to reach for it. Where I think lesser players who aren't as good as Joe Root, when they're playing that shot, their right shoulder comes in too much, and then they try and either hit it too hard or they try and hit it too straight. And Joe there, he's gone, he's waited, and then with a flick of the wrists, he's meaning to hit it through the sort of cover point region and executed it absolutely perfect. Yes, he was playing miles away from his body, but at no point did I think he was out of control.
It's been a really good contest. Fascinating to watch. There's been nothing given at all. No pressure relenting from New Zealand. Diving stop as Root sweeps once again. There's a dive at deep backward square leg, but in vain as Rachin Ravindra has to pick the ball up from behind the foam triangles, the boundary, and ricocheted into the LED advertising boards. Once again, Rachin Ravindra finds himself in Devon Conway land, all by himself on the deep backward square leg boundary. He's been taking selfies on behalf of young fans. Another sweep shot from Joe Root, this time to the right of Rachin Ravindra, and it's 4 more. Well, again, it is a sign that sometimes you identify, as Anton Devčić was saying, which bowlers are bowling really well, and just let them have a spell. And that's what they've done with Will O'Rourke, and they've decided to take the attack to Mitchell Santner. Yeah,
and it's the line from Santner. Santner's just straying onto sort of leg stump from around the wicket, and that angle there, it's not coming back. So Joe Root's going to the sweep shot. He's played it perfectly the last two deliveries.
Okay, Root's ready to go. And O'Rourke, who's bowling a hostile spell here for the 3rd time in the over. Root attempts a pull shot. There's a run that takes him to the other end, and it's an applause in part for the 50, and applause in sympathy for the pain that he just experienced to the ball before, the one that took him to another half century.
Yeah, he raises his bat, acknowledges the Barmy Army and the England players and England supporters, and then walks towards Jacob Bethell as though he's been sitting on a horse for the last 2.5 hours.
Goes under the bat.
Well, he hasn't hit it.
This is the glove.
Big moment in this test match, this. A massive moment in this test match.
Here we go. Pitching in line, hitting in line, and smashing middle stump. Joe Root's got to go. Santner strikes here at Seddon Park.
Sorry, you'll be overturning your decision of not out to out.
And England now 3 down.
Now, so overturning your decision to out.
122 for 3. Joe Root's been dismissed trapped in front on the sweep. And Santner's golden runner form continues.
Yeah, it does, and it's a good delivery. He's swept very well as Joe Root. The one before dipped on him, and he managed to get it on the full toss. And I mean, a big moment in this Test match. England still 530 behind, but Joe Root was looking, and the way he's played and the form he's been in this series, it wouldn't surprise you to go on and get a big score. So a massive wicket for New Zealand.
Santner's going over the wicket to Bethell, who's forward and driving. That's an immaculate shot. Just so beautiful, effortless. Henry just turns and chases, just giving him a little bit of width. And Bethell, who is looking like a very good player indeed, is to 54.
Yeah, that delivery from Santner there just drifted away from Bethell and probably pitched maybe 5th or 6th stump, and Bethell just caresses it through the offside with only a cover in mid-off, and it was fairly easy pickings.
127 for 3. England need a further 531. Here's Bethell. He's going to have another boundary as Ravindra gives chase out on that point boundary, but he can just let the ball cross it and retrieve it. 131 for 3. Bethell is 58, and the high percentage of boundaries continue in this match.
Jacob Bethell, he's 66. Ollie Pope is 5. 148 for 4 England. Nominal target became even more nominal when Joe Root and Harry Brook fell within a couple of overs of each other. But Jacob Bethell's still there and batting very, very nicely on 66 from 90 deliveries. Here's Will O'Rourke. This is his 11th over this morning. His bowls a bouncer, and Bethell chops it away beautifully behind square on the offside, back-to-back boundaries. This is a big effort, this, from Will O'Rourke, and you almost get a sense that possibly too many eggs are being put into this spell, into this basket. How well is he going to come back? Katie Martin is alongside me. How's it been going in the television commentary box, Katie? It's funny how two commentary teams can go off on different tangents, can't they? You can be talking about completely different things on television than we have been on radio.
Well, they did, because I love doing my Hawk, and I don't know if I said this yesterday. They said, oh, I don't know how you do radio because you love Hawk so much.
Tim Southey's into the attack, and he might take a wicket with his first ball, and he does! Caught at deep backward point by Glenn Phillips, and you have to say that's a genius piece of work by the captain, putting a deep backward point on the boundary, Southey bowling it in the right place. It's saying to Jacob Bethell, you can go for it if you like. He went on the charge, first ball, and he's carved it out to the man at deep backward point. Good catch from Phillips. End of Bethell, 166 for 5. The end of the game is nigh.
Oh, what a disappointing for the youngster to not be able to reach those 3 figures. It was really intelligent bowling. He saw him give himself some room on that leg side, charged down the wicket, pushed it slightly wider, wobble seam delivery, so a little bit away off the wicket. And to think he's hitting into quite a significant breeze into that extra cover area, just squirting off the face, and it went finer and finer, and fantastic positioning. That's that sort of defensive feel that we saw a lot of Australia to say, okay, if you want to try and hit a boundary, we've got a guy out there to defend that. And if you hit it well enough, it's going to go for an opportunity. Exactly that. He batted so beautifully. He's had so much control in his innings, a lot of maturity in the way that he's played. New Zealand looked to attack him with the short delivery, which is such a strength of his. He was able to combat that, and then the continued approach of attacking Tim Southey in his last test has paid dividends for Tim Southey.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.